Good afternoon and welcome to the Queen Mary University of London presentation. My name is Kerry Bevan and I'm the International Officer who advises US-based students at the university. I also work on the Study Abroad program, so I can answer any questions that students may have who are considering spending either a semester or a full academic year at Queen Mary. So today I'm talking to you from a very wintry and cold Toronto. I'm not actually in London, but I would usually be in London to assist you prior to starting a course, and also be there as a point of contact should you have any questions about applying or entry requirements, etc. So today the presentation will cover kind of the basics about Queen Mary, where we're located, the kinds of courses that we offer, general facts about the university, and please don't hesitate to ask me any questions and I can answer them as I go along. So I'll start off by telling you a couple of facts about the college, and some numbers as well. So first of all, we're a member of the University of London, as the name suggests, and within the network we have 18,000 students and around 3,000 staff. So if you're not familiar with the University of London, it's a network of 19 plus institutions. So you may have heard of some of our colleagues like King's College, UCL, LSE. These are all University of London institutions, and within this network we're medium sized, so we're not quite as big as UCL and King's, but 18,000 is quite a large university within the group. We have 3 faculties, humanities and social sciences, medicine and dentistry, and science and engineering. We are a very, very international university. In fact, just 2 weeks ago, we were given the accolade of one of the top 25 most international universities in the world. And this is because over a third of our students are from overseas. So it's a very international, very cosmopolitan environment. We have over 140 nationalities represented on campus. We have actually 5 campuses in London. We have a main campus in the East End of London. I'll tell you a little bit more about the area in the following slides. We do also have medical schools and a postgraduate law school located in different parts of London as well. But our main campus is in the East End, and that's where we have what's known as our student village. And that has over 2,000 rooms on campus, and everything that students would need to live and study and socialize in one location. So 2,000 rooms, and then there's also cafes and restaurants. There's a bar, a nightclub, a gym, all the academic buildings, the library, laundry facilities, shops, banks, everything you can think of. We also have an extensive scholarship scheme to assist international students as well, particularly in science and engineering, so a very popular destination for international students. As you can see from the next slide, to be exact, we have 17,848 students, and then you can see the breakdown of where they're from. Because of the diversity of our courses as well, we do have more of an equal male-female ratio, and we also have a number of postgraduate and undergraduate programs. So the next slides provide you with a couple of rankings. I think we actually have gone up a couple more rankings in the most recent Times Good University Guide in the world rankings. We are known as a research-led university, So you will see frequent references to what's known as the research assessment exercise, or the RAE, and this is kind of a ranking of the research of British universities. So as you can see on the slide there, we're currently ranked 11th in the UK, so we're very, very well known for our research. We're also ranked number 1 in terms of student experience, number 1 in terms of student accommodation. We've invested a lot of money in the last couple of years in making our campus look very attractive, so there's a lot of money in investment in the buildings. And we're also ranked in the top 10 for employability and graduate starting salaries. So we always like to advertise the fact that many of our graduates receive the highest starting salaries compared to other graduates throughout the United Kingdom. So we always like to remind you some of the reasons to choose us as we go along, and the fact is that we're a University of London institution, very well known and respected academically, known for our research, and also known for our campus lifestyle and our location in London, and as I said, the scholarship opportunities. So just a little bit more about the University of London. So I mentioned it earlier that this is a network of over 19 plus institutions. You may be thinking, well, what's the benefit to me of a University of London institution? And I would say the main thing is the international recognition. So it is internationally renowned. It's very well known all over the world. It's been a degree awarding institution since 1836. We joined the University of London in 1915. And students do have some of the benefits of shared resources. So for example, you can use some of the libraries and the archives of the other institutions. The picture on the slide there is Senate House Library, and that's what the main library of the University of London. So they have over 2 million books there, and it's a fantastic resource. Some of the other benefits include the Careers Centre. So the Careers Centre is one of the largest in the UK. So they have all kinds of resources, job listings, employer resources, that kind of thing. And you're also a member of the University of London Union, which represents over 120,000 students if you combine all of the students from the various institutions and institutes. So again, this is a reminder of why you should choose us. The next slide gives you an idea of what the campus looks like. So you can see some of the modern lecture theatres. The top right corner is the People's Palace. That's a very well-known theatre venue, a very well-known venue in London for music gigs and theatre. It has a very large stage. And then you can see on the bottom right, that's our student village. So that's one of the accommodation centres for students. And you can't quite see it, but the Regent's Canal flows through the campus, so it's quite a tranquil space with a canal running through the campus. So this is what the campus looks like. You can't really see from there, but it is quite small by North American standards, so you can walk from one end to the other in around 10 minutes, but as I mentioned, everything that you could need as a student is on the campus. And it's a fantastic location. It's equidistant to 2 different underground stations, tube stations, Mile End and Stepney Green. And it's a very urban location, but as a student at Queen Mary you do have the best of both worlds. So once you step into campus, it is quite a tranquil space. And the fantastic thing about it is it's so easy to travel around London. So it is central London, but it's just slightly to the east of the city centre. So it would be around a 15-minute tube ride into places like Trafalgar Square and the British Museum and what's known as the West End of London. We're in a very multicultural part of London, so it's a really interesting mix of different neighbourhoods. So for example, 15 minutes walk from the campus is an area known as Brick Lane, and this is the centre of London's Indian and Bangladeshi community. We're also one subway stop away from the site of the 2012 Olympics. So that area has undergone a huge regeneration, and there's loads of new venues. Last week the Aquatic Centre opened, which is the large swimming pool. And there's also the largest inner city shopping centre in Europe located there as well. The reason why the local tube station or the area is known as Mile End is because in Roman times it's exactly 1 mile from the old city walls of the City of London, so that's why it's called Mile End. And you also have places like Shoreditch and Hoxton, Dalston. All these are very trendy neighbourhoods, so you'll find that as a student in London, if you're a young person or a student, most people tend to go out in East London. So you may go and experience all the touristy places in London, but then as a Londoner, as a local, East London is really the place to go out. So there's lots of bars and restaurants and art galleries and loads of entertainment. We are a campus university, as I mentioned, and the accommodation on campus is fantastic. All of the rooms are single and private. Most have their own private bathroom as well. So that's a cultural difference compared to North America. So you won't have a roommate, but you will have roommates within your apartment. So you'll have your own private room and bathroom, and you would share with around 5 or 6 other students, and they would be a mixture of British and international. And then you would share a kind of kitchen communal space. So it's all self-catering accommodation. So you have to learn to cook for yourself, or failing that, there's various food options on campus like cafes and self-service restaurants and that kind of thing. We do also have a meal voucher scheme available, so if you want to, you can prepay some of your meals before the start of the semester, either breakfast or lunch, or breakfast, lunch and dinner, or any combination of those. The price of on-campus accommodation, there are slightly different room types, but generally it's around £113 to £151 per week. So you would move into your accommodation in mid-September. You would be allowed to stay through the Christmas vacation, and then the academic year would end, next year ends on the 5th of June 2015. We have lots and lots of support services on campus, so if you're a student who needs, if you have additional needs or a disability, we have a disability and dyslexia service, and we can also provide additional support for students who are blind, deaf, wheelchair users, whole host of different needs. There's also the Careers Centre, and as I mentioned earlier, this is one of the largest careers centres in the UK. It represents many of the other institutions of the University of London as well. We have a Learning Resource Centre for students whose first language is not English. We have a language support centre, and they offer assistance prior to the start of a degree, as well as actual support during your studies as well. But obviously if you're from the US and English is your first language, that's not something you have to worry about. We also have an advice and support unit as well, and they provide very specialist advice for students who need to speak to a training counsellor. Maybe you're feeling homesick, or you're having some problems while you're away, and obviously being in another country it can be quite lonely sometimes, so they offer that support. They also offer immigration advice, budgeting, and various other forms of practical support for international students as well. We also have an on-campus gym and a squash court. It is quite a small gym because it's an inner city gym, but it is great. They have a whole range of classes, lots of cardio equipment, so very high standard gym. I should add that students would pay for the gym separately. It isn't included in tuition fees, and that's another kind of cultural difference. So British students would not have a gym included as part of their tuition. There are numerous shops, cafes and restaurants. There's part-time work available, so lots of students wish to earn a bit of money and do a part-time job while they're on campus. We have a big student union as well, so we want you to have a good time while you're studying for your degree, so there are lots of clubs and societies. The Hive is kind of a place on campus where you can hang out, and there's a cafe and there's study space. It's kind of a social space for you to use while you're on the campus. And then if you have a special interest or you play a sport, there's numerous clubs and societies that you can join. And these are some of the... oh, actually you can't quite see on there. Usually the slide would populate with all of the different clubs and societies, so you just have to imagine some of the 60 sports clubs and the 100 plus societies. So again, you can see why Queen Mary, and this is a reminder again of some of the reasons why you should choose us. So that is it really for the presentation. I should just add a couple of other pointers. We do have a page dedicated to students from the US. If you click on the international tab on our website and then click on your country, you can see lots of resources for US based students, so you can have a look at the entry requirements, you can look at the funding as well. So we are an overseas institution which is approved by FAFSA, so we have an office on campus that can help you with the federal loans process. You can also see the tuition fees as well. In the UK, a degree is 3 years and not 4 years, so you'll find that you will need to specialize. So it's very uncommon to do two very different subjects. So for example, you can do things like English and drama, economics and business or something like that. But in the UK there aren't any liberal arts degrees, so that's why you would specialize and do 3 years and not 4 years, because we don't have usually the liberal arts component. But I'll be here in the chat room for a couple of hours if you have any questions, and I can stay here for a few minutes as well if anyone wants to ask me questions now. Okay, well I don't think we have any questions, but as I said, I will be in the chat room, so it's probably just as easier if you want to come and talk to me in the chat room. My contact details are also on the website as well, in the US section, and as I said, I'm here to help you every step of the way. So every step of the way, from initial inquiry where you may be thinking about studying in the UK, up until actually submitting an application, hopefully receiving an offer, and then actually preparing for a course of studying with us. So thank you very much for attending this presentation, and the very best of luck with your studies.